What's up? It's your boy, Brothers Keeper. I'm going to be doing a very controversial video today. I'm going to be talking about the Me Too movement. So, I'm going to put out a public disclaimer here. So, for all you feminists and Me Too activists, I'm going to put out my disclaimer. I take rape very seriously. I'm biracial. And both my parents are black. And both of their parents are black. And both of their parents' parents are black. But I'm biracial. I recently took my Ancestry.com test. I'm expected to get the results on February 14th, but I already know that I'm going to come out biracial because of my complexion. My forefathers are not African kings. They're white and Spaniard slave owners. I already know this. If you ever seen American Me, the opening credit scene where the husband is taking out his wife on their honeymoon, and then some white sailors, they either get off of a bus or a ship after their basic training. They immediately attack the man, hold him down, and then they all take turns raping his wife. And then they bring in their first child, which is not even the husband's biological child. That's the story of African American people. We are a product of rape. I'm a product of rape. That's how we were brought into the world. The same way American Me opened that open scene. That's like the history of black people right there. So with that being said, I take rape very, very seriously. So it's going to be controversial, but I don't know whether we should call this the Me Too movement or the She Said movement. Because at this point, it's she said. It's always alleged and allegations. It's never hard, concrete fact. It's no longer innocent until proven guilty. This is not even going to court. People are automatically going to the media. They're not going to the feds. They have no evidence. They're not going to the feds. They're not going to a person they trust. They're just going straight to the media. So it's at this point, it's all propaganda. And how do I know this? There's only a 1% conviction rate. There's a list of offenders, of celebrities, male celebrities, who were accused, and none of them have went to prison. There's only one person out of the whole Me Too movement that has went to jail, and his name is Bill Cosby. Harvey Weinstein is still a free man, and he will probably not see a cell or a jail for the rest of his life. He's gonna get off. So again, is it the Me Too movement or She Said movement? I'm gonna call it the She Said movement, and that's just facts. So I'm gonna start off with a scripture. Genesis 3:16. I'm not gonna read all of it. You can read it at your own leisure. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. What does that mean? He'll have no fury like a woman scorned. So basically what it means, like, you see a lot of women, they want to get paid more. They want to, do a lot of man kind of jobs, like the military, policing, have the higher positions, president, all of that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not against it. But basically it's saying at one point, man and woman were equals. And then once the fall happened, man became the ruler, So women have a desire, to overpower a man or basically have authority over a man. And that's a lot what you're seeing. And I addressed that in my other video, so I'm not going to get too much into that. But I also notice a wave that I call it liberal conservatism. Liberal conservatism. You know, at first, like back in the days, people fought so hard for sexual revolution. People like Madonna and the hippies and the first people who created porn and all of this, like they hated the 1950s. They hated it, and they wanted to be free and like just promiscuous. Now all of a sudden, it's like everybody is against sex. They're censoring artists, rap artists. They're taking people down from Spotify. Playboy magazine is not even a nude magazine anymore. It's like Victoria's Secret or something. They took the nudes out of Playboy. Game of Thrones is no longer gonna have sex scene. Hollywood is making their adjustments. Tumblr has a filter where they're no longer allowing any adult content. So it's like everybody is becoming. It's the 1950s is re-rolling around again. It's like everybody wants to be celibate now and abstinent now. It's like it's a cool thing. They don't know that they're doing it, but they're reverting all the way back to this. What our grandparents and our forefathers and our matriarchs taught us. Now it's like everybody wants to go back to that. Everybody wants to go back to being conservative. You know what I mean? And it's funny because people who have no morals now all of a sudden want to be moral. Now all of a sudden they want to edit and filter stuff. So it's a new wave. It's a new wave, man. Be prepared for it. So as far as like, I do believe that there are like real rapes happening. So I have to say this to the men. To the men, thou shalt not lie. To the women, that thou shalt not bear false witness. A lot of the answers that we're looking for is this. If you're a male celebrity, it's just best to be celibate or practice abstinence and refrain from that. Practice what they call, and then like outside of the book, you can practice semen retention. If you're going to be abstinent, you're going to be celibate, practice semen retention and sexual transmutation, where you harness all of your sexual energy into creativity, weightlifting, and just being productive. You know what I mean? A lot of fighters practice this. A lot of actors and fighters practice being celibate, so they could harness their energy to their art. You know what I'm saying? So this is the way of life right here. If you want to slip through the cracks, you'll be in and out of season. Don't bear false witness. Thou shalt not lie. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing that the Me Too movement is pretty much standing upon. If people would obey these two things, there would be no Me Too movement. If you were celibate, you wouldn't have to worry about people accusing you of rape. So this is in and out of season. Now, let's get into R. Kelly. Let's get into your boy R. Kelly, man. R. Kelly, a lot of black people are really going in on him. And it's more so because of that whole thing that Jada said. Do we not care about our black girls? Because it's really not getting any media coverage. Like, from like main media coverage. It's more black people are crucifying R. Kelly. First off, Tyrese Gibson and Will Smith 2 years ago were in Dubai with R. Kelly, eating with him. So to me, I feel like he's one of your own. You should address this man. As a black man, go send Will to talk to him. Like, hey, is this true? Because if it's not, you need to say something because you really looking crazy. And if it's not, then like, hey, go get your brother, vindicate him, take him to jail. Take him to jail, man. Like, hey, do the right thing and turn yourself in. You don't have to hate and ridicule him. And to this whole Surviving R. Kelly series, like, I just don't believe it. It's like you got parents and and all these females with their nails and their makeup and their weave done, and they're sitting in a chair behind a black screen, and they're saying lights, camera, action, and they're just telling their story. It's just like incredible, because if you knew that you left some girls behind, and why didn't y'all file a missing people report? Why didn't you get the rest of those girls? The fact of the matter is, the girls want to be there. I went to jury duty the other day, and I know I'm everywhere, but I went to jury duty the other day, and they mentioned you should not have a non-biasm when it comes to dealing with a case. We all have biasm and we all have prejudices. When dealing with this case, you shouldn't have any prejudices or biasms. If you do, it may be a conflict for you to even work this case. So basically, a lawyer and a prosecutor will present the facts to you, and then you go off of the facts if someone's guilty or not. So until I hear R. Kelly's version, Surviving Lies, and I watch Surviving R. Kelly, and I weigh the two, I can't really pass judgment just yet. And another thing is, this is an art of war tactic. There's a lot of self-hate in the black community, and people are really going in on R. Kelly. This is a tactic called the art of war, where you don't physically hurt your enemy, you mentally break them down. So at once, we were all Black Panthers, and then we separated to be Bloods and Crips. Now we're killing each other. You understand what I'm saying? And there's also a book called 48 Laws of Power. One of the rules is you put holes in your enemy's reputation, and you let public opinion lynch them. So with that being said, it's not white people who are going at R. Kelly and lynching him. It's black people that are lynching their own. You know what I mean? So I get that people are upset and disappointed, but you gotta really look at like what's really happening, what's being practiced on you, what's being used on you. You have no clue, man. Everybody's just sheep. No one's a shepherd. Everybody's just going down this one big broad lane. You know, the way to heaven is narrow. Few will find it. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is just wake up. I know this is a long video. I think I addressed everything I said. But yeah, that's my video. Peace.